air superiority is the invisible but decisive heart of modern warfare. You can gain ground, hold positions, but if you lose the skies, victory is never complete. It is precisely in this equation that France's Mirage jets are returning to the Ukraine file once again. When the first Mirage 2005 fighter jets landed on Ukrainian soil in early 2025, it was not just a shipment, but also a strategic and symbolic milestone. Because France was not only sending 6 fighter jets, but also transferring a historical and technological legacy of its own air power to Ukraine, an alternative to the air combat conducted with Soviet-era MiG-29s and Su-27s, had now emerged. This development was akin to heralding a jet age in Kiev's long and arduous defense transformation from east to west. The aircraft sent were Mirage 2000-5F models, one of the most advanced Mirage derivatives of the French Air Force. This platform, with its delta-wing design offering high maneuverability, has an architecture optimized for air-to-air missions, especially in medium-range combat. Equipped with active radar-guided MICA missiles, these jets can perform both air superiority and limited air-to-ground missions. It is known that Ukrainian pilots received special training in France, and information about the bases where the aircraft are stationed is largely kept secret for security reasons. However, it is now clear that this will not be limited to this first batch. The Kiev administration, which wants to transform Ukraine's current air fleet in terms of quantity and quality, is in constant contact with Paris to expand the Mirage deliveries. Former Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba clearly stated this issue. France will announce that it will give 20 Mirage jets instead of 10. Moreover, it is not only Kuleba. Independent observers and figures in European defense circles suggest that France is preparing to supply Ukraine with 24 to 30 modernized Mirage 2005F fighter jets. Some of these will be active-duty aircraft, while others will be aircraft withdrawn from the French inventory and modernized. The delivery plan includes not only the aircraft, but also spare parts, ground support systems, maintenance and repair infrastructure, and weapon packages. The MICA-EM and MICA-IR missiles in particular stand out as the main weapon systems in this package. Electronic warfare systems, integrated avionics, and tactical data link infrastructure such as Link 16 are among the critical elements that will accelerate the integration of the Ukrainian Air Force into Western systems. The strategic background of these developments is also noteworthy. Thanks to the Mirage jets, Ukraine is not only gaining new aircraft but also bringing NATO-style air combat capabilities to the field. The rebuilding of the fleet structure, training personnel according to Western doctrines, transitioning to the radar-guided missile concept, and network-based operations are all part of this process. The Mirage jets, alongside the F-16s, appear set to become the 2 main pillars of the transition from east to west in the Ukrainian Air Force. According to behind-the-scenes discussions, the second batch of deliveries could be completed by the first months of 2026. This means more active air defense, more aggressive patrols, and limited airstrike capabilities for Ukraine. The Mirage jets are expected to play a key role, particularly in disrupting Russian supply lines behind the front lines, countering unmanned aerial vehicles, and enhancing airport security. We witnessed the striking power of the Mirage aircraft in March. During a large-scale missile and UAV attack by Russia on Ukraine's critical infrastructure facilities at that time, Mirage 2005F aircraft were actively deployed. Russian forces used 25 Kh-101/Kh-55SM cruise missiles, 8 Caliber missiles, 1 Kh-59/69 guided missile, and more than 100 Shahed-type kamikaze UAVs in this attack. The Ukrainian Air Defense Network responded with a multi-layered defense: NASAMS, IRIST, S-300S, mobile EW systems, and French Mirage jets deployed for the first time. The Mirage 2000s did not just hunt enemy elements in this mission. They also undertook real-time target detection, guidance, and precision strike tasks in the field. The Ukrainian armed forces announced that 134 air targets were destroyed and at least 10 missiles were diverted from their course before reaching their targets. The fact that the Mirages were modified to carry SCALP cruise missiles and AASM guided bombs in particular elevated this operation from a routine defensive maneuver to an advanced deterrence doctrine. This operation also marked the first confirmed sighting of Mirages in Ukrainian airspace. A video shared on social media and verified by open sources clearly showed a Mirage 2005F flying in Ukrainian airspace. This image declared that France had not only sent aircraft, but that these aircraft were now directly involved in the war. By April 2025, the Mirage jet's effectiveness had reached a much more strategic level. The Ukrainian Air Force announced that it had hit a total of 19 high-priority Russian targets with precision strikes during a large-scale operation along the Velyka Novosilka axis. These targets included field command centers, military convoy assembly areas, and forward supply bases. AASM HAMMER guided bombs were directed to coordinates targeted by reconnaissance drones during the operation. The high-precision munitions worked in perfect harmony with the advanced electro-optical targeting systems carried by the Mirage 2005Fs and French-made command and guidance sets. One of the most notable strikes was carried out against the headquarters of the Russian 81st Motorized Artillery Regiment in the Nechaev region. It was reported that approximately 30 Russian officers were neutralized in this attack, which was carried out with SCALP missiles. This was not just an air operation, but also a pinpoint attack against Russia's command and control structure. In August, French Mirage 2005F fighter jets took to the skies once again over the Ukrainian front. This time, the target was the village of Tëtkino in the Kursk Oblast, one of Russia's border regions. Ukrainian intelligence had determined that this was an important ammunition depot and personnel assembly point belonging to the Russian armed forces. Information obtained from satellite images and reconnaissance drones in the field confirmed that ammunition was stored in the building and that military personnel were actively present. The attack plan was prepared with high precision. One of the Mirage 2000-5F aircraft took off and approached the borderline, flying at a predetermined low-altitude profile. While flying under electronic jamming and radar cloaking, the coordinates of the target building were loaded into the combat flight computer. The aircraft was carrying an AASM HAMMER guided bomb as ammunition. This bomb can be guided to its target with high precision using GPS and inertial navigation systems, and with its 250-kilogram warhead, it can penetrate and destroy reinforced concrete structures. When the bomb was released, the Mirage had already changed course and headed for a safe area. The Hammer bomb was released from a distance of 12 kilometers and settled into its planned ballistic trajectory. Within minutes, it hit the target building. The initial impact was visibly huge. Immediately after the attack, a dense cloud of dust covered the area. Then secondary explosions began. The ammunition stored in the building, which was used as an armory, was triggered by the bomb's impact. This amplified the explosion's effect exponentially. Local sources reported that intermittent explosions continued for about 20 minutes, with black smoke rising from the building visible from miles away. Satellite images shared by OSINT communities revealed that the area was reduced to rubble after the attack. The damage was not only physical but also tactical. Russian troops gathered in that area were scheduled to be deployed to other areas. However, the attack disrupted these rotations and seriously hampered local logistics. This operation by the French Mirage jets carried not just a bomb, but also a complex operational message. Ukraine is no longer just defending itself. It can change the rhythm of the war with high-precision airstrikes near the border. So what do we know about these planes that are changing the rhythm of the war? At first glance, the Mirage 2000-5F may seem nostalgic. Delta wing, single engine, 1980s silhouette. But the reality is quite different. This jet, especially with its electronic systems and munitions integration, has become a real hunter in Ukrainian skies. Let's start with the radar system. The RDY-2 Doppler radar can track 8 targets simultaneously and lock onto 2 of them. This is a significant advantage in detecting cruise missiles gliding at low altitude or swarms of UAVs. So the Mirage is not just an attack jet. It can also function as an intelligence platform carrying radar in the sky. For air-to-ground missions, AASM HAMMER bombs come into play. This munition can hit its target with high precision, even from a range of over 50 kilometers, thanks to a combination of GPS, INS, and laser guidance. With their concrete penetrating warheads, they are ideal for ammunition depots, command centers, or underground shelters. Moreover, their successful use by Ukraine in the Velyka Novosilka and Kursk attacks has been confirmed. But the real critical threshold is the integration of cruise missiles like the SCALP into this jet. With a range of up to 250 kilometers, these missiles are ideal for destroying high-value targets with their low radar signature, wave tracking capability, and deep penetration capacity. They pose a strategic threat, particularly to radar stations, airbase infrastructure, and supply centers. So how do the Mirages protect themselves? Thanks to the French Air Force's modernization programs, electronic countermeasure systems similar to Spectra have been integrated into the Mirages since the mid-2000s. These systems consist of active radar jammers, infrared disruptors, and flare/chaff dispensers. This significantly increases their chances of survival against radar-guided missiles from short and medium-range systems such as Pantsir or Buk M1. Looking at the mission profile of Ukraine's Mirages, these jets typically fly at medium altitude. Due to the low-altitude threat, coordinated flights are preferred within Patriot or Iris-T air defense layers to protect against S-300 or Tor M2 systems. After completing their mission, they quickly gain altitude and retreat to a safe zone. What about the pilots? It is very clear that France does not view this delivery as merely a shipment of jets. Ukrainian pilots were enrolled in special training programs in France. The process, which began with modular simulation training to master the Mirage 2000-5's fly-by-wire system, radar interface, and weapons control, continued with real flight scenarios and AASM/SCALP firing drills. The French airbase at Mont-de-Marsan served as the main center for this training. The accelerated nature of the training was made possible by the pilots' prior experience transitioning from aircraft like the MiG-29. However, this transition represents not only a technical shift, but also a doctrinal one, moving away from Soviet-style hit-and-run tactics toward multi-layered NATO tactics. The spread of this new doctrine is now a matter of time. Speaking at the MSPO Defense Exhibition in Poland on September 5, 2025, Swedish Defense Minister Paul Johnson gave a clear signal on this issue for the first time. In a statement to Breaking Defense, he said, "We also have a dialogue with Ukraine, and they are showing serious interest in the Gripen system, especially the Gripen E." This statement indicates that a topic previously discussed only behind closed doors is now being evaluated at the official level. However, this possibility is not expected to materialize immediately. Stockholm emphasizes that the sale of Gripen E/F to a country at war would only be possible after the hostilities have ended. So for Ukraine, this is not just a matter of jets. It is also the first clue as to how the Air Force will be structured after the war. Why is Gripen important? Gripen E is the choice not only of Sweden, but also of countries such as Brazil. Although it has lost tenders against powerful competitors such as the F-35 and Rafale, this aircraft developed by Saab is now being aggressively marketed for export. The new sales agreement reached with Thailand in July 2024 was the first move to break a decade of stagnation. Ukraine is not showing interest in this platform for the first time. The Kiev administration has been lobbying Sweden for nearly 3 years for the transfer of older JAS-39C/D variants. In 2023, this transfer was evaluated by Stockholm. Sweden even offered Gripen flight training to Ukrainian pilots. However, this step was put on hold due to logistical and training warnings from allies. NATO members emphasized that the ongoing F-16 and Mirage 2005 integration processes are already intensive, and adding a third platform could put pressure on training programs and maintenance logistics. Taking this view into account, Sweden stated that the Gripen could be back on the agenda after the F-16 process is completed. What does Sweden want? At this point, Sweden's situation should also be carefully examined. As of November 2024, Sweden has 70 Gripen C and 23 Gripen D aircraft in its Air Force inventory, which it plans to gradually replace with the more advanced Gripen E model. However, new deliveries are spread out over time. If the old Gripen aircraft are to be given to Ukraine, a critical question is how long it will take Sweden to acquire new aircraft to replace them. Due to this uncertainty, the Swedish Ministry of Defense is currently only speaking openly about the sale of the E/F variant in the post-war period. However, no roadmap has been presented for the JAS-39C/D models. Yet Ukraine's current need is precisely for this type of low-cost, rapidly deployable platform. What is the Gripen's value in the field? The Gripen was designed from the ground up to counter the Russian threat. The aircraft's most notable advantage is its ability to operate with minimal infrastructure. Small airfields, highway runways, narrow taxiways. All of these can serve as bases. Because this aircraft eliminates the dependency on fixed bases with its short takeoff and landing capabilities, the maintenance infrastructure also aligns with this doctrine. According to Saab, refueling, weapon loading, and ammunition replenishment for the Gripen can be completed in under 10 minutes by just one technician and 5 crew members. This makes it a mobile and deployable fighter jet for countries like Ukraine, which are under constant threat of attack. The aircraft's air-to-air munitions range extends to Meteor missiles. For air-to-ground missions, a wide range of munitions can be used, from small-diameter precision bombs to standoff-capable missiles. Its most important advantage is its ability to carry these munitions with a low radar signature and superior maneuverability. Is the doctrine changing? Sweden's move is not just a sale of aircraft. It is also the export of an air power doctrine to Ukraine. While the F-16 emphasizes high-intensity combat zones and the Mirage focuses on strategic targets, the Gripen's focus is on mobility, flexibility, and dispersed defense. For Ukraine, this means rebuilding not only today, but also the post-war period. In summary, while France's Mirage conveys the message attack, and the US's F-16 conveys hold the airspace, Sweden's Gripen offers the approach disperse, remain invisible, but be ready. Bringing these 3 platforms together means Ukraine's future air force will evolve into a hybrid structure. If you found this content informative, don't forget to like and subscribe. We would love to see your thoughts and questions in the comments, because these discussions shape not only battlefields, but also fields of thought. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching.